Welcome to Lower the Bar with John and Joe. Remember to breathe. This is your Power Hour. Has gone by.
Very busy, fun week.
Oh, speak for yourself.
Didn't you have
No,
fun
I'm
this
kidding.
week?
I'm kidding. Yes, I did. Very good week. So tell me about your week, Joe.
My week is busy from 5:30 till about 10 o'clock at night. Between hypnosis sessions and working with you on these things and the class we're having and putting in all my vegetables and flowers.
Yes, you have been Martha Stewart the last week.
I don't know if I'll ever do this again, but I probably have 300 to 400 little plants under light by tonight.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're growing quickly, so I've got to get started and do some raking because I have to put them in the ground.
You're going to be busy.
Yes. But it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be good eating lots of vegetables, 4 kinds of squash, beans, tomatoes. Oh, I'm going to have tomatoes. I hope you have a patio.
No one cares, Joe. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You care. Are your tomatoes ready?
Yeah. Your tomatoes are really good.
I know.
I had a great week. Busy, clients, just a lot going on. But I have to tell our listeners that I slept better last night than I had in 20 years. And it's because my friend, Dr. Shinlang Ying, gave me this disc. Actually, she gave me a couple. This is it. It's a Scalar disc, energy disc. It's 6.5-inch ormosite, which I will get into explaining to our listeners what that is. But this little piece of energy really creates scalar waves, and I'll explain to our listeners what that is. But I couldn't believe how laser focused. It was like 5:45, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not a morning person, Joe. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I do know.
TMI, Joe. TMI.
Well, I just
I'm
know.
kidding. I'm kidding. But anyway, I mean, I get up early, but I just, 6 o'clock rolls around, I am not interested. I couldn't believe it.
About 10:30, 11 o'clock, you start to see the outside.
I don't know about that. That's a little late. But I woke up at like 5:45, 6, and I was ready to run a marathon. I was so charged and so laser focused. It kind of shocked me.
Then what did you do with all that energy?
I meditated. I actually got up, did my glass exercise, and I meditated and grounded in my front yard. Took a chair outside and took my shoes off in my front yard and grounded and
I wonder what
meditated.
your aura looked like, when you're in that
State?
focused, rested state.
Well, I've been told by other people who read and have read my aura that it's white.
Okay.
And that I've been told that they've never seen it on other people completely white the way they do. And mine shoots out 8 meters from my body, actually. So, yeah. Now, I doubt it's white 24/7, but
No, of
certainly
course it changes
in
according
that
to what's
state,
going on.
it becomes that way. But so basically, this scalar energy disk is made. It was actually crafted by Ken Rolla, who developed it, and it's called ormosite, based on the work of William Reich, Karl Hans Welz, and Nikola Tesla, and others. And these discs, scalar energy discs, these proper frequencies can reduce stress, promote deeper sleep, promote accelerated healing, help relieve pain and headaches, strengthen physiological functions in any living organism, humans, animals, plants, insects, beneficial microbes, mushrooms, and fungi. The ormosite scalar energy disc can improve the taste and properties of water, water-based liquids, and food. The discs will also structure and reduce the damaging effects of electromagnetic radiation, aka electromagnetic fields, EMFs, and they help for sleep again, stress issues, and other issues that go on in the body. So I wasn't skeptical. I received the energy, the gift. I was very grateful because she had told me about it and the impact it had. She'd gone to this conference where Dr. McCullough was there, and people who were familiar with his work, and there were a lot of very important people in the field, and she was telling me about it, so I said I was very interested in it, and I got it, and I slept with it again. I got it yesterday, and for the first time, and again, I cannot believe the impact it had on my body.
Why don't you give people the website that they can go to find out about it?
I will, absolutely. Well, Scalar Energy is, aka torsion waves, is a faster than light spiraling wave that continually branch in reoccurring patterns as they flow. Such reversive branching patterns are called fractals. And what happens to these scalar waves is they coagulate or slow down, and the slower light subliminal speeds that can structure conventional electromagnetic energy and even become physical matter. The term scalar refers to the structure, unlike the usual side-to-side oscillating or traverse waves such as those in the ocean. They are longitudinal and more like a compression wave that you might see in a compressed spring, such as like a slinky toy. And
how do they benefit us by being within the scope of their performance, so to speak?
Well, they're labeled with other names such as torsion waves, prana, chi, ki, 0-point energy, other types of energies.
We talked
biometric,
about prana last week.
Yes, biometric energies, rife energy, kundalini, life force, etc.
We have rife energy.
Yes, yes. And they are all faster than light waves that can slow down and become particles, electromagnetic waves, and matter or structure, EM energy. The scalar energy frequencies generated by fresh and alive devices are very beneficial and support health and well-being.
Definitely. Definitely they are a natural healing component, one of the components people should be using. And they're not anywhere near as expensive as I thought they would be. I was very surprised. The smallest one is only $17.
Yes. Yes.
So I really want to get
if they're affordable.
Yes, very affordable.
And
probably the $50 one is something that people would get like for their bedroom to just sleep near them at night.
Yes. They're very useful. And they come in many different sizes.
Yes.
And the sizes depend, predicated on how much
square feet you want to cover.
Exactly. The circumference of the area. So, this small one does 3 feet. And then I have another one that's like a giant pancake that does 6, it's a radius of 6 feet in all directions. And they have ones that do 150 miles. So it's really incredible the applications that can be used for this.
I'm going to try that 6 feet one.
Yes, yes, it's incredible.
See if I wake up
what
like
it does, and well, let me give our audience. The company is fresh and alive, and it is Rolla Enterprises Inc., and it is 3121 Opportunity Court, and that's Suite C. And that's,
well, they can go online to Fresh and Live.
And it's South Daytona, Florida, 32119. So that is the information for where you can contact them to purchase these scalar discs.
I think I'll go there when I'm visiting again down there.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And the energy, they use a composite to kind of put these crystals in. There's amethyst, there's kaolite, there is selenite, and amethyst.
What's the blue one?
That's the kaolite. And the combination of these 4 crystals compressed in this resin that they put it in.
It looks just like a resin.
Yes, an epoxy, but what's really interesting is inside are 15 different types of minerals in the platinum scale on the, the chart, and they're superconductors. So they help magnify this energy from these crystals to create these scalar waves, or these torsion waves that impact our body. These
Do you
also
feel them?
Well, being an empath on crack myself, and very susceptible to energy, I can actually see it, not just feel it. Yes, it had a huge impact on me. The minute I picked it up, my whole body started to vibrate. I began to felt like I was beginning to astral project. It was very intense. So yes, it's very powerful, but someone that really might not have awareness, sensitivity to other types of energies might not be impacted by that. But it doesn't mean that it's not impacting them. Certainly if they have it under their pillow, or close to their bed when they're sleeping, or under their mattress, that it would have an impact while they're sleeping. Yeah, so when they woke up in the morning, they might feel refreshed or energized or whatever. Maybe they don't have pain in their shoulder that they had. So it's for me, and I can only talk for me, so I will let my audience know I will only talk for me, that it had a huge impact. Because like everything else, we're all individuals, so it impacts everyone differently.
But it impacts them.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I think, that it definitely will impact you. To what degree? And you know what? If you're not as sensitive in the beginning, but you can embrace the little bit of impact, I'm sure it'll become more impactful.
Yes, absolutely.
Because of expectation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I'm glad you brought that to our attention.
Yeah.
I find that very interesting. I definitely want to get one.
Well, I wouldn't have gone off so much on it, but I can't tell you, I woke up today.
I know, you said that. Feeling
with
great.
A spring in my step that I haven't had, but it wasn't just that. My body felt differently. My muscles. I'm normally, when I get out of bed, I'm a little, sometimes I'm a little achy or, stiff. None of that. I felt completely energized, like I had just done yoga for an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm so...
What is it? Fresh and Alive?
Yes, that's the name of the company.
freshandalive.com. I went to the website, and you're going to find pictures, prices, how you can get it, if you're interested, or more information on it. Yeah, we thought that was worth spending some time today sharing with you, because of how good John felt when I saw him today.
Well, let me just end with this, though, because it's composed of, again, kyanite, quartz, selenite, and amethyst crystals embedded in a proprietary substrate composed of 15 different minerals, magnetics, and ormus-bearing minerals. Ormus or orme or M-state minerals are superconducting minerals that create natural Meissner fields and Scalar fields that are highly regenerative for living organisms.
Okay. So they're healing powers.
Yes.
Absolutely healing
Which
powers.
leads us into our topic today, which are continuing auras and energy, which is really what that is. Again, talking about prana energy, life force energy, and all of that. So really, one thing that I could share with our audience that's really important to know is everything vibrates. Everything on this planet has an energy, even, again, steel girders or...
trees, animals.
Well, that's natural, obviously.
But people don't know that, though. They think it's just us that vibrates, but it's not.
But man-made materials, they even vibrate at very low density, but everything has a signature, which is interpreted mathematically. So this is how we quantify these energies, because we can mathematically put a value to it and then quantify it. Yeah, so we're going to talk more about auras today and how they impact us, what they mean, and how you could let them work for you, which is really the most important part of that, is understanding of that energy.
And I think it's much more complicated than I anticipated. This book that I'm reading, The Power of Auras, by Susan Schmansky, DD, and I presume that's Doctor of Divinity. DD. My granddaughter just became a doctor.
Yes.
PhD. I guess PhD is different. She's a doctor now. And it is very detailed. So those of you who want to go into detail, I say get the book. You can get it at Amazon.com. It's on sale right now for $10 and change. Was 17 something, and I checked today. It's still on sale.
Such a deal.
Such a deal, yeah. But it is very, very detailed. So today we're going to talk about the roadmap of aura fields. And just the detail of that, incredible. Look at the information on every part of your mind, body, and soul, so to speak. The impact that auras have. Your gross body, that's your food sheath. The part that you feed. There are different faculties in that. Earth.
Wait, before you continue, I'm
Yes.
sorry to interrupt. Because you're talking about food. I can't remember if I've mentioned this before, but our listeners need to know that eating meat, red meat, whether it's chicken, turkey, steak, cow, whatever it is dark fuel and dark energy. Most people aren't really aware or don't even want to know about how our animals are treated and how they are taken to slaughter and what happens to them. And the lowest form of energy, the lowest density on this planet is an animal anticipating its slaughter. So when we eat red meat and things like burgers and hot dogs and other things like that, it only feeds muscle tissue. It doesn't really feed the body. It doesn't feed your auric field. It doesn't feed your energy, your soul. All of that does not derive any nutrients from that kind of matter. So it's very interesting that we're talking about this, and I just want our listeners to understand about energy and how even what we ingest, and I'm not talking about the metaphor you are what you eat, because we've heard that for decades, but truly what you put in your body is very important.
Of course it is.
To your overall energy, how you feel. It impacts depression, anger, rage. All of those are
Pain?
fed. Exactly.
I mean, really.
Inflammation in the body.
Inflammation, that
absolutely,
was the more
which is
appropriate
probably the biggest instigator or,
of your mood
protagonist
as well.
of your body.
Yes, because it can instigate a mood as well as physical pain.
Yes, but it also triggers markers in your body. Inflammation is also a more subtle way of being triggered, activating kidney disease, cancer,
because
whatever.
we're all born with predispositions.
We carry it in our lineage, in our DNA from our family. And based on how our life unfolds and the stress that we allow ourselves to sort of implode or take on is, all of those that's predicated on how we handle that. And that's why meditation, self-care, holding space for yourself, all of those templates and narratives are so important because they help us navigate and get through anxiety, tension, anger, whatever that is. And getting back to auras, being aware of other people's energy and space will help you navigate even your job, where you work. Your boss is vibrating in a certain place, and it's like, again, using that intuition, like to stay away from him that day, or not to, it's using
not a good time,
right?
We
exactly.
all know that,
So it's using those instincts that are so important in our everyday life, in an application in everyday life. And again, we're talking about auras. Understanding the energy of them and how they can work for us will be helpful for anybody.
Just understanding the details related to it. Now, this roadmap talks about your gross body, which is the body you feed, your subtle body, which is both your mental and your intellectual sheath, your casual body, that's your blissful sheath, and that's where you might feel clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, immortality, intuition, very spiritual too. And then your higher self, and I know you and I work a lot with people in the higher self, the spiritual sheath, where we do a lot of work in the identity of I am self, and we talk about
the I am presence.
I am.
Yes.
The I am. The God self, the cosmic self.
Well, we need to come to a place, Joe, in that space of I am, to let it take over our life. We need to come to a place where that I am presence takes over your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, and your actions. Because that's when you're most present, connected to self, understanding. So when you let that kind of innate place of being kind of take over, that you begin to enter mastery, because you're coming from just a place of benevolence, of love, of compassion for yourself and others.
And that's not always easy when you're working with people who are responding to triggers every moment and without mindfulness. They're just responding. They're
Automatic
not,
pilot.
Yes.
Most people live on automatic pilot.
Yeah.
Through most of their day. Yeah, I totally agree. And I don't think that's healthy.
No, I don't think it's healthy either, but the expectations that I think are put on people in so many jobs, they have to produce so much that that's the only way they can get through the day. Because every place they turn, somebody needs something from
True.
them, wants from them. But I think that this is a group learning, that it wouldn't be a bad idea if organizations took an hour at the end of a week or the beginning of a week, maybe the beginning of the week would be better, and talked about acting in this way together in the organization to make for a much more contented staff members.
Well, I think you create cohesion, you create authenticity, there's
awareness of each other's feelings.
And space.
Yeah.
And I think when you're creating a template or an atmosphere of that, productivity goes up, effort, there's more compassion and love going into your work, which absolutely exponentially grows your production.
Absolutely. It creates much better mental health.
Not just mental health, much whatever you're
The
working
product,
on.
yeah.
Yes.
And then you go home with it, because you know how we talk about that's contagious.
Yes.
You bring that mindset home with you.
Absolutely.
So it's win, 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 win.
Yes.
An hour a week.
Yes, I think that's very important. This isn't about team building, people. This is not team building or doing a retreat no, this is an awareness of consciousness is really what it is, Joe. It's an awareness of consciousness.
And other people's too,
Yeah.
not just your own.
Yes, exactly.
Everyone's.
There's a mutual respect that comes when you sort of come to that place of understanding. And again, when there's cohesion and everyone's kind of working together, it's sort of the Gestaltian, the sum is equal to the whole of its parts. There's so much, again, the productivity, the energy, you're putting out a much better product because it's coming from a more authentic place, right?
Definitely.
So yeah, that's wonderful. So go on, continue.
So yeah, let's break this down. The gross body, the food sheath, the faculties that are involved here: earth, water, fire, air, and the ether. Also, your sense organs, your organs of action, and your elements. One is the environment, the first five, I mean. The second three are the physical body. But then they also say there's motives for them to be healthy. What are the motives for the gross body in relationship to the environment? Projection, creativity, movement, control, competition. I don't really understand that competition one in the environment. Although I guess things in the environment compete against.
Well, it's a healthy interaction.
Yeah.
Competition promotes.
And competing for sunlight, competing for water.
On every level. I mean, competition can be bad. on certain levels, because it brings up, shame, guilt, those kinds of feelings of not meeting expectations. But at the same time, it can be very healthy, certainly in a work environment, when it's done in a way with compassion and benevolence, because you can compare notes, so to speak, and come up with something really beautiful that, many sort of like minds have put their brains at task to create or manifest for themselves. Okay, go on.
I think I'm going to go. I mean, the subtle body is your mental health. That's very important. And your intellectual health. Now, where's that identified? The health of your subtle body, your mental and your intellectual health, is identified in your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, because at the lower end of your subconscious mind is all your sensory mind.
You know that very well,
Yes,
considering,
I do. That's what
with
I
your
work with.
hypnosis, yes, you work with your clients that way.
And your intellect and your ego. And it's very important to be thinking about, in terms of your ego, your will, things that you demand, your power, your security. Now, ego can take over and create a monster. We all know that. When your ego is so big that that's the part of you that you really only can relate to, you got a lot of problems. People realize that. So you have to be careful of that. You have to be able to feed your subtle body, correct? How do you feed your subtle body?
Meditation,
yeah.
food, your diet,
healthy food,
being in nature,
healthy
outside,
knowledge, yes.
Yes. Yeah. Self-care, taking care of yourself,
Self-care,
holding space for yourself. Absolutely.
But also all your habits, your patterns, your beliefs, your talents, your habits, all those things feed your subtle body. Now, some people say, oh, that's my habit, I can't change it. Yes, you can. If you want to change it, you can change it.
That's the key right there. You can't change anyone. They have to. Every type of change in the universe comes from self.
Within. Comes from within.
Yes.
But that's what I do. I help people. I don't change them. I give them the tools to change themselves.
Exactly.
Because then they're empowered. And they feel, wow, I didn't know I had that power. We all have that power.
Right.
But we don't know it. Or we know it, but we don't know how to tap it, or we're not willing to do the work to tap it.
Check every box. You're absolutely right. All of the above.
All of the above. Or any one or any three, it doesn't matter.
No.
But developing an awareness that you do have the power, I think that's probably the number one thing that my clients are surprised at. I can't believe I could do that. I can't believe I have the power. I said, yes, you do. I didn't do it.
Yeah, that's funny you say that, because people that I work with as well, when they start getting on the road to health and wellness, or they begin to elevate their consciousness, everyone says, oh my gosh, I can't believe,
I can do this.
Yeah, right. It was like I could have had a V8 moment.
Yeah,
They're like, oh my gosh. But that's it. You have to, it's a focus. It's like anything else. It's like a job, but it's for you, you're doing it for you.
But some people just say, nobody ever told me how to do that. I didn't know I could do that.
But we're not, but we live in a matrix. We don't live in a world that's promoted. And it's only been recently even condoned on a larger scale.
You're right. To even do any work with the subconscious has been against a lot of people's religion.
Absolutely.
I don't understand that.
Well, again, constructs. You keep people conditioned to be comfortable where they are.
Yeah.
And I tell everyone I work with, just become comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's how you get through it.
And believing in your intuition, listening to yourself. I'm not sure that's quite right. Investigate it. Don't listen to everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Investigate it. And you decide for yourself. Trust in your own decisions.
Yes. Well, that's where we go when we start to let our I am presence take over our life. Because what we do is we go inward and we trust our I am presence. And then, because don't believe anything you're told. Nothing. Even what we're saying. You don't have to believe it. Don't believe it. But go inward and see how it resonates for you. And if it doesn't, let go of it and take what does. And that's
And
what
move on to something
but
else.
Joe, that's what it means to be in your I am presence. It's allowing that part of you to just totally kind of clear the hard drive, look at it objectively, and if it works for you, great. And if it doesn't, get rid of it. Because again, remember, everyone is different. Everyone grieves differently. Everyone interprets it in the way they interpret it. So if it works for you, fantastic. If it doesn't, fantastic. You know, that's the beautiful expression of duality. Every form of expression is beautiful. We don't have to like it, but every form of expression is beautiful in its
have the respect.
rawness, so to speak.
We have to respect other people's
Space.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And you believe that, that's okay. I hear so many people talking now about how their friendships are breaking up over politics. Stop. You know,
That's not important.
Well, it's important, but it's not important to break a friendship over. It just isn't. You don't break a friendship over that. Let them have their own beliefs. What they believe will or will not come to pass, as they will see.
Well, beliefs have nothing to do, are you compassionate? Are you benevolent? Are you kind? Are you giving? Are you a loving person? Like, those are the things we measure.
Those
connections,
are the most important
friendships.
things.
Yes. What you,
Yes.
you know, what you believe politically shouldn't, like you said, really intervene.
Shouldn't be part of
No.
your evaluation of a friendship.
No.
But I've heard so many people say that lately. She doesn't speak to me anymore because of who I want to vote for. What? Oh, well. I know.
Yeah, it's sad.
It is very sad. And I'm working with a client right now who is very upset about some friendships that have broken up because of that. And you know, we just have to learn. People come into our lives. They teach and we teach. We learn, they learn, and they move on. And that's okay. There'll be other people.
Yes.
You know, for whatever it is, if they aren't tolerant of what you believe, they don't respect you.
True.
I think it's time to say goodbye.
Have we done this already? Really? That fast?
Yes,
Okay. So try to, this week coming up, try to focus inward and see if you can see your aura. We talked about it last episode. Go in the mirror, focus, look at yourself, but look over your shoulder and kind of blink a few times fast and slowly open your eye. And again, you're not looking at you, you're looking past you, and see if you see anything. And send us an email. We'd love to know your reactions and if something happened or didn't happen, and let us know your experience. We definitely would like to hear about it, right, John?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it'll take some practice. It doesn't just happen.
Yes.
It takes some practice. So we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us. We don't know what we're going to do next week. We have a couple of choices, but we're going to surprise you. So see you next week.
Yes, and also to let our listeners know that we're having our guests come on soon on the podcast. I'm looking forward to that. We have some really interesting people coming on the show, and I think our listeners will get a lot out of it.
They're having a little difficulty in getting away from their workplace because of...
Well, they're more than one person, but
yeah.
So we're excited about that. So we thank you again for joining us, and we hope you have a great week. And we thank you for the privilege of your time.